equal percepts called treasures, frozen hot Karen, more good provisions, and iron-tight stash. The bone piles we do not need anymore. We have enough of them. We're going to look now inside the war crash. I'm gonna assume that this guy's buggy. Good morning, Love Element. How are you? We are right now trying to find the treasures of the Forbidden Room. Oh no, there's another player. Oh no, 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 no! Please don't steal my Spellsworn reserves. Uh-oh. Yeah, you can't activate this teleporter on the Forbidden Reach as long as enemies are alive. Welcome back.
My hall awaits you.
So I'm not sure if you already done it, but if you ever want to get Taivan, the mount from the Meta achievement, and you're doing the Forbidden Reach content, it wants you to do all the treasures, and that takes ages. And there is an item called the Reliquary Scroll of Perception. You can buy it in NPC for 2,000 of a currency. It makes it so much easier because you get a notification on your minimap. So if you fly close to the area where you'd like to find one of those treasures, they spawn randomly mostly, you are going to have a much easier time. And I'm just going to fly around the area until the treasures spawn that we need. And after that we also... Oh wait, where are the storms anyway? We should get new storms. No storms at all. Also something mental that we have to do is kill every elite. And they're randomly spawning, so I'm not sure why Blizzard would do that. Usually they want you to kill 10 of these, but all of them is ridiculous, but nothing I can do about it. I mean, I'm not sure what happened. I hope you're fine now. In terms of in-game, I mean, you can still do it. I mean, just take your time whenever you feel like it. Just go at it and do a little bit. I mean, no one expects you to do it all in a day. It's impossible anyway. Just there's so much to offer, so much interesting stuff to experience. Little dialogues. It's a beautifully crafted world. And it doesn't matter when you do it. You can do it today or in a week or in a year. Just have fun with the game. I mean, that's the point, I guess. Playing a game to have fun. But I also had my down phases in World of Warcraft, especially kind of in Shadowlands. I dropped out in Season 2 because that was the time when all the allegations came through and the horrendous, evil, nasty state of the Blizzard management came to be known. I just stopped paying them because I did not want to support them with my money. And I came back with Dragonflight and it was kind of a good choice. Funnily enough, I think it was in Dragonflight Season 1 where I also wanted to get the 2K rating, and I had my last game, and I had some sort of UI bug where I automatically quit the game, and then I got like 100 minus on my score, and also rage quit it for a while. That was a bit hilarious. But yeah, the thing is, if you care too much, especially about class balancing, I think it's detrimental because you're just going to take the fun away from the game. Because if you care too much, you're eventually going to get disappointed, because Blizzard is just Blizzard is being Blizzard. So they're going to rebalance whenever they feel like it, and it's not always making sense. It's not always balanced. Sometimes you just get the short end of the stick. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, I know a lot of people. For example, right now in my guild, I have two friends who play PvE on a higher level. So they're usually going for the title Mythic Plus, for example. So 3.5k rating or something, and they played meta. So they played Augment and Mage, and now Augment and Mage is well, bad. So they started to change their classes. That's of course the other solution to it, to play different classes. For example, this is he's now playing 3 classes actually. He's playing Druid right now as a tank, but also as a balance because that's good, and a Paladin tank, and Warlock. And the Mage also has reroll to Warlock now. So one of the solutions, if you're trying to put a lot of effort into it, is to maybe have 2 classes at hand. So if they nerf one, you still have another. But of course, that's a lot to ask. I'm personally not doing that. I'm maining 1 class and that's enough. But maybe that can be a solution to some. But because they're definitely sometimes hammering the classes. They're hammering out the buffs or nerfs, and sometimes there's just very little sense to it. And you have overpowered craft. For example, right now, Enhancer Shaman is just overpowered as heck and does like 10% more than anyone else. It's obviously not balanced, but Blizzard doesn't really care. And there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, it's usually, if you want to feel good, it's definitely consideration to make if you're just playing, the meta classes, so the ones that currently are the best. It was definitely Shadow Priest last season. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call Shadow Priest right now a particularly strong class. It's an okay class, I'd say. It's above average. But yeah, usually if you want to have the most fun, especially in World of Warcraft, it's probably the best to always pick the currently best class in a season. Even though that of course means that you have to change classes probably every 2 seasons or so. And ultimately, it's kind of a mind game, because for example, if Blizzard is changing the balance and you don't have success, that's not because you are a bad or a worse player than before, it's just Blizzard is changing the numbers, and the game is rarely balanced, so we usually always have classes that are a little bit better than others, or even much better. So it's difficult sometimes because it takes the fun away, but you always remember that it's usually not you. Whenever they're doing rebalancing and suddenly your class feels like shit, that's because the class is shit. So it's not your gameplay or not you. I honestly think they're actually doing that to keep the game kind of going. So they know that people sometimes, after half a year or so, are just bored with the class. And they probably have some sort of internal statistics where they probably have some sort of correlation between people changing their classes or remaining with their classes and then subscription numbers dropping. I'm pretty sure there's a math behind it. that sometimes they change the classes to mix up the whole game balance in order to give an incentive for players to experience something new, which probably has something to do with subscription numbers, because ultimately most, if not all, decisions over at Blizzard probably are somewhat connected to their sub numbers. After all, that's the thing they care most about. So most decisions they do or make are probably somewhat connected to subscription numbers. Yeah, Shadow Priest. I never liked Shadow Priest. Until the rework, I hated Shadow Priest playing it. First, it was a bad class, and secondly, it was overcomplicated. And the funny thing is, they always reworked Shadow Priest, but it was never good. It always remained bad and very little fun. And then with the last major rework, they actually made it kind of cool in Dragonflight. I actually thought about switching, but then I kind of was like, nah, they're probably going to nerf it anyway. And then it dominated 3 seasons of Dragonflight, and that was a bit ridiculous. Interesting. Yeah, Warlords of Draenor was an add-on where I didn't play Obsidian. Didn't play any Shadow Priest. I mainly played Warlock back then and a bit of Paladin. So I didn't know how good it was at the time. I just read on Wowhead that apparently the Morkut provisions that I'm searching for sometimes don't show up on the minimap, even with the scrolls, so maybe I have to look for them manually? Oof. I might try something else. We're going to try War Mode. Maybe that will get us a little bit more success. Because you said that you like Ele Shaman, I would actually recommend, if you have an Ele Shaman on max level right now, the most overpowered class without any doubt is Enhancer, and with the way they reworked it, it's actually kind of fun. It's kind of complicated because you have these, oh, if that procs first, I need to do that, and here and there are there 5 or 6 enemies, so it's a little bit complicated. But overall, it's a very fun class, and it kind of feels, Enhancer Shaman right now feels a little bit like Retribution Paladin, where you just press and stuff happens. It's just a very satisfying way to play right now, and it's just ridiculously overpowered. Again, I'm reasonably certain that for the remainder of the season, Enhancer will probably be the most sought class, because it's just very strong right now. Even though, funnily enough, we had an Ele Shaman, or we have one in our raid, and the way they destroyed the class right now, I mean, they kind of changed the numbers you need, so your whole stat priority changed as an Ele Shaman, apparently, and he immediately quit the game. It's nice that you like it. I mean, I'm kind of also doing it for myself because I kind of noticed, especially over the duration of Battle for Azeroth and Shadowlands, that if I only do high-end content, I kind of lose fun myself. Because if I'm just grinding raids and grinding Mythic and grinding PvP, it just becomes... It feels a bit like work, so the fun factor kind of goes out the window, and trying to rediscover a bit about the world and doing the, as you phrased it, excitement to explore, it kind of gives me a pause when I play, and it just gives me more opportunity to have fun. Because if I'm constantly grinding Mythic Plus or something, it's just, after 10 hours I'm like, oof, I need a pause for a week.
Someone think of the poor Marmoni! Those bananas won't hold off the proto-dragons forever!
Even though, I have to say, I'm a little bit picky, so I'm not doing all achievements. There was a time when I did a lot of achievements. For example, this is my second account. So back in the day when I was younger, I shared an account with a friend of mine because he was older. Back in the day I was under 15 and I couldn't buy the game or pay online, so I used him to do that. And that was the end of Burning Crusade when I got my own account. No, sorry, in Wrath of the Lich King. So this is my second account actually. I've been playing for a little bit while longer. And there was this time when I made this account. Where's the big achievement? Event? No. Summary. Wait a moment. This achievement. So yeah, this was the year when I, 2012, almost 12 years now, when I started the second account. And I wanted to have all the achievements I had on my first account. And then I just grinded like a maniac and did all the achievements again. And that kind of took fun away, and I had to pause for like half a year because I overdid it massively. It's kind of, I'm trying to balance playing as much as I want and can, of course, with my private life and all. But also still trying to have fun whilst doing stuff that's kind of repetitive. So something is odd. I'm going to look manually because it should be here somewhere. Both the Mordgood provisions and the Irontide stash, even though I have no idea how they look like. Even though, wait, I have an idea. I have a good idea actually. We do have the anomaly detection, that should help us. So anomaly detection, I'm not sure if you know, is, I think it was a Dragonflight ability. It only lasts a minute, and it has 10-minute cooldown, but it kind of makes the world black and white. And everything treasure-y becomes colorful and flashy, and you immediately notice it. So we should be able to find it. Yeah, but sadly, didn't work. So, in theory, both treasures should be where the pirates are. I know that they have some ships around. I'm going to look for them. Probably going to take a while. Maybe it can also be buggy. So over the years, I sometimes noticed when people activated the treasure but didn't loot it, sometimes it became buggy on the shard and it required a reset. So there are two types of reset in the game. There is also the one type of reset is also connected to a trick. So for example, if you should ever find yourself in the need to farm a mount. So let's say for example you like Wrath of the Lich King and you want the Proto-Drake, the Timeless Proto-Drake. Most people know he's in the Storm Peaks, but he only spawns 8 hours or so, every 8 hours, and there are a lot of people who want it. But there's a little bit of a trick, because if no player has been in a certain shard, the server shuts down. And you can kind of abuse that system. A lot of Mount Hunters do that. They go on old role-playing servers where there is just no one anywhere, and then they are parking an alt character at a specific spot where the mount spawns, and then they wait for the server to shut down. And when they log into the game, the server that restarts automatically spawns the mount, and they can immediately get the mount. Oddly enough, Blizzard never really cared about that, because this is kind of common knowledge among mount farmers, because it's a neat trick to force the spawn of mounts, or well, anything really. And that's kind of a way to get around that problem by abusing that type of respawning system. So either we need that kind of reset, probably, or we just wait for the server restart on Wednesday. Or Tuesday, I think it is in the US. Yeah, that's really smart, and it actually works, which is hilarious. But nowadays it's not as easy anymore, because a lot of people know about the trick, and role-playing servers are often filled with Mount Hunters or collectionists in general, so sometimes it can take a while to actually find a server where there is just no population, so the server is actually shut down. At least the specific shards of a server, because the way Blizzard programmed World of Warcraft apparently is that certain regions, sometimes they're connected, kind of share a shard, and each individual shard can turn off if there is no load required, which kind of is actually it's kind of smart from Blizzard's perspective, because why have the processing power, why let it run, let the server run if there is no need, if there is no player they don't need to run the server. So the sharding system just ensures that there is only an active server if there is actually a need.
Punches, lucky doos and rope. I have many wares.
That's also something we still have to do. So in order to get the completionist achievement with Taivan, we need to find 50 treasures via scrolls. So I just activated the scroll that I got from killing a mob, and now the treasure conveniently is close to us. Problematic, of course, being 50 of these is going to take a while. Yeah, definitely. The problem, I think, with sharding is just Blizzard didn't want to add the ability of the engine to handle a lot of players. So Blizzard, obviously, with millions of players, had the problem of performance, so they made the choice to kind of stretch or just separate the community into different shards, which kind of takes load away, and you can kind of separate the server infrastructure better. But the problem, of course, being the more you add to the game. So for example, right now, back in the day, the server structure in terms of damage was quite simple. But nowadays you have all of these ability who get constantly calculated. So each strike, so for example what I did right now, this number here, 350,000 something, gets calculated, the crit, haste, mastery, versatility, and then what kind of defense the creature has, etc, etc, etc. So there are hundreds of calculations running each and every time you do damage. And they kind of overcomplicated it over the years, and the load on the servers just grows incredibly high, and especially noticeable, you probably noticed, especially early in the add-on, when people in Kazalgar did the theater event, when there were like 100, 200 players or more, it just lagged like crazy, because the servers just couldn't handle it, the way they are set up. And that's kind of a homemade problem, because Blizzard is increasing the load on the servers, but ultimately, of course, the engine can't handle it, just because it's an old engine that's still relying on single core, and there's not a lot of optimization going on. I mean, I know the Blizzard, they advertised the game with, oh look, we have DirectX 12 ray tracing, but it's a bit like they did a patching up job. They just they took a bit of color and put it on top of the engine, but it just looks good from the outside. It's just old and rusty from the inside, and as long as they do that, they're never going to fix the performance issues. I mean, again, I'm not sure if I had this conversation with you or Philip, but performance problems in the game are mostly engine based, so even if you throw an incredible amount of hardware at the problem, it's not going to fix the issues completely, which you're still going to have lags. Yep, yeah, exactly. And of course, it's kind of unnecessary, I think. I mean, Blizzard could simplify it, and by doing that, just increase performance significantly. And also, of course, all the VHFX effects, which just was so much happening on the screen, which is obviously it looks good, but performance-wise, of course, it's madness. I mean, look at Paladin alone. With the way that the fiery burning angel with his wings and constantly thundering doom and death and fire from the heavens. I mean, it looks good, but performance-wise, yeah, it's not a surprise that the service just struggle. Yeah, because players didn't have all of this flashy stuff, because their abilities didn't require the server to compete so much. Which is of course a bit of a problem, because the game needs to look good. I mean, nowadays, back in the day, there wasn't this kind of competition, especially not from China, from Chinese games. And nowadays, the game needs to look modern, so there needs to be a lot of flashy stuff on the screen. So it's probably a bit of a last resort of Blizzard, because they kind of need to make it look attractive in a modern age, and at the same time they kind of need to make it work, which of course is difficult with what they have. So what I'm going to do now, there's a bit of a problem with the spawn because apparently not all treasures spawn at the same time, so there's also a little bit of a trick, something that I learned with pets. Sometimes you can trigger the spawn of a certain object if you get rid of all the others, so I'm going to do all the other treasures in the hopes that the treasure that I need now spawns, because sometimes you just need to trigger it. It's the same with pets. Sometimes there is a type of pet. For example, you have ordinary frogs on the ground, and there can be one special mob, one special elite frog that you can capture, but it only spawns sometimes. So if it has not spawned, you can kill all the normal frogs, and by doing that, forcing the game to recalculate the spawn of that, and hopefully leading to it spawning before the rest despawns. So you can sometimes kind of trick the system. Yeah, I mean, Retribution probably is the worst. If we're talking about server load, I mean, it's a bit crazy, especially if we're thinking this endless Divine Storm monument in a Mythic Plus. You're just doing 30, 40, 50 Divine Storms in a fight, and yeah, if we calculate that with 10, 20, 30 Retribution Paladins open world, lag's not a problem, not a surprise. Yeah, exactly, like Hyperspawn. Yeah, but so I'm reading up the comments on Wowhead, and most of them have found it in this area. Always 3961 to 4, so in this area. What is also possible sometimes, this event here, maybe it has a detrimental effect towards the spawn of the item I need. Sometimes that happens in the game. With World Quest or something, even if they're not in the immediate area, sometimes they just chain to something. Maybe it can be a bug. I mean, there are a lot of bugs still unfixed, so I might actually do the event now.
The elements are weakening. Now is the time to strike. Finish off this storm. It is done. That should slow them down. Excellent work.
Many deals for a friend of the Grumbles.
going to be fun. I mean, you can do all mock runs now until Shadowlands. So with the most recent patch, they made Shadowlands and BFA. I think we talked about it. Soloable, so you can get all of the good stuff. Yeah, I'm also going to finish the stream in about 15 minutes. I need to go. I mean, the nice thing, actually, in Dragonflight Season 4, when Blizzard already talked about... I got the fish. Talked about the warband system, I stopped doing transmog runs, because I knew that it would be a waste of time. I mean, nowadays, if you go into a transmog run and you get gear, you can get the transmog for all classes. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, back in the day, you had to go with several characters into a raid or something to get the transmog, and nowadays you just get one character, just do the run, and you get the gear. I mean, that's everything most people ask for. It's also something I noticed with Dragonflight. I have the feeling that Blizzard is trying to respect players' time a little bit more. So, not only grind, but also somewhat trying to make it, you know, a bit fun. Yeah, definitely. It's just, it's so much better than what we had before.
I have many lucky twos. You like?
I mean, you're still, of course, bound to RNG, so if the item doesn't drop, it doesn't drop. But at least now, the loot won't be wasted, mostly. I mean, when I, for example, as a plate carrier went into a raid and only cloth or leather or something dropped, it was just a waste. And now you can just use it for other old characters, that's cool. Yeah, especially when they started the mogging, and there was so much money to be made. I mean, nowadays most people have all the big mocks to sell that they want, so you can't make as much money anymore. But yeah, back in the day, yeah, there was a lot of gold to be made. I'm probably going to wrap this up here. If it's just not dropping, it's not. If it's not there, it's not there. I just need to wait until it spawns eventually. There's no use now to just randomly attempt to find it. It's actually a piece, for example, Transmog that I ran so often from Legion. I'm still trying with my Paladin to get the helmet from Agramar for the set. But I still haven't found it. It's the only piece that's missing. And no matter how many times I've run Agramar, he never dropped on my Paladin. But when I went in with my Warlock, it immediately dropped, but I couldn't use it. Yeah, have a nice day, and sure, go to catch up later. And have fun with the Transmog run later, on the weekend. I'm probably going to stream tomorrow again, and probably later today I'm going to be away for a couple of hours. So, have a nice day.
Who speaks before me? Bring more tales when next we meet.
Good luck.
I have many wares. Farewell, friend of the Brummels.
The Isles have awakened. For Dragonkind. We'll remember you.
I've got matters that need tending.
So I just found out how to do the champion achievement. So apparently there are elite creatures that you need to summon with special items. Craft key to unlock. Mining, enchantment, tailoring, blacksmithing, herbalism, oh boy. Are you greedy buggers? This is worth 100 gold, not 10,000. I need to do this myself. So, in order to unlock these rare creatures, to summon them, we need to buy the right stuff. So there are reagents that drop on the island, and then you need these reagents to craft the items required to buy or summon the elites, but they're expensive. I'm not paying 10k. Oh, I have those in my inventory. Oh, 2 I have now in my bank. So I didn't need to buy that. Okay, that was unnecessary.
Speak your piece, if you must. Forges go what you